broken. It's the internet. It's the ghost in the machine. That's Sandy Martin. I don't know how it lays out, but there's Sandy Martin. But she could be over there. Or she could be down there. Or she could be up there.
I'm gonna be a free man. I'm gonna fight until the end. I'm gonna find the answers here. I'm gonna make it all quite clear.
Yeah! Hey, boys and girls, it's the Chris and Mike Show. I'm Chris, he's Mike, and with us today is Sandy Martin. Just so you know, this show is, oh man, I screwed that up. A portion of the show is brought to you by Riverside FM, the one and only choice for podcast platforms. Remember, we are live on Twitch, YouTube, and our own personal website, chrisandmikeshow.com. So if you happen to just go to our website, you can watch the show live there as well. And then this will drop, I believe Mike said this is going to drop Sunday?
Actually, Sunday. Yeah, we're
Sunday.
right on top of things right now.
You're the quickest turnaround show ever, Sandy. So no pressure on you at all.
Welcome, Sandy.
Welcome,
Thanks for having
Sandy.
me.
So we're going on a 30-floor elevator ride from the first floor to the 27th. You got that amount of time to tell us why you're here, what you're all about, and what we're going to chat about today. 1, 2, 3, go.
Well, I think most people who are trying to fix something with their health are getting it all backwards. I think everything starts with what we stop. I think the biohacking industry has been, well, it's something that people, it's a dirty word.
Okay.
Hacking might as well be the F word. People
Okay.
are upset at the idea that people would hack, and I started my health business in biohacking, and I
Okay.
did that because I had a brain injury. After running Comic-Cons, I'm all over the place this morning. I think
Wow.
I got a little nervous because it's live. I didn't realize I was
Well,
going to be live.
Oh, don't be
You're
nervous.
good.
So
Oh,
this
don't
is
be
how
nervous.
everyone knows it's real and not
Yes.
AI, right?
We are
get a
real,
little-
raw, and irrelevant, as I like
That's
to
part
say.
of our
There's just,
charm.
yeah,
because There's
yes,
a little bit of chaos within the
yeah,
structure.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I'll
There's nothing
say
better.
that everything you can do to better yourself
Okay.
starts with something you say no to.
Oh, I like that.
And so it's a different concept. And I came to this after a couple of years of presenting exhibitors trying to push products on people, which I thought was a great idea because in my own experience, I was just fumbling through the internet trying to find stuff. And I
Okay.
thought if I put them all in a room, it would
Yeah.
help people figure out what's best for themselves.
Give
But
me an
even in
example of
that-
what you're talking about, Sandy.
Yeah.
So there are things that we can do. Everybody knows what a vitamin is. We call them
Yes.
supplements now
Yes.
because we've got a wide variety of options that aren't just your typical vitamins and minerals.
Right,
You could take
right.
alpha GPC for a brain boost, or you could take
Okay.
omega-3s for fish oil for heart health, or there are all kinds of things. So we'll call them supplements, and that's one category.
Okay.
And the other category would be devices, like a red light device or a
Oh, I like red light.
Thank you. Or a pulsed electromagnetic frequency, PEMF device, or a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, or something that would be designed to activate your body on a different kind of a level. A lot of that can be done with exercise.
Okay.
You know, a lot of things are, most of what benefits us is free. Our bodies have a natural intelligence, and our bodies send signals, accurate intelligence reports that tell us when something's
Right.
off.
Okay.
And so a problem is a signal that something else needs to change. Usually stopping something harming us is the best place to start, but there's this whole industry of stuff you can buy, and there are all these companies trying to push things on people, and I'm
True.
culpable because I assemble them in a room in a trade show setting.
Oh.
And so in bringing them all into a room, I'm upsetting my exhibitors at this moment. I'm confusing the marketplace. You put 50 to
Okay.
100 different companies in a room that are like, do this for your health, do that for your
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
If you just take the supplement, if you just sit in front of this light, if you just breathe this thing, if you
Yeah.
put hydrogen in your water, I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. People walk out more confused.
Yes, they do.
So after 2 years of that, I realized that I needed to put some order into this. And so I came up with the EDGE framework. My second book is called Biological EDGE. And
Okay.
EDGE stands for Eliminate, Decode, Gain, and Execute. And so I'd love to talk at length about things we can stop and pick your brains about
Okay.
things we can stop so that we can feel better.
Please.
And then once we reduce some of the noise after maybe getting some fragrances or plastics or heavy metals out of our water, air, etc.,
Yeah.
we can feel different and start to understand what's happening with our bodies.
That's amazing.
I don't know
And
about
this
you,
just
but
came. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
being over 50, I refuse to accept that I should be tired in the evenings or that my joints should ache. But I think
Yeah.
this is a normal mentality for people. Once you get to a certain age, those things are normal.
Yeah.
I don't
I
accept
think,
it.
yeah. So when and you can correct me, but Mike and I have had this conversation before, and I'm sure you feel the same way. When we were kids, when we were at that 12-year-old mark, whatever, everybody when they hit 40 had the over the hill party, right? And black balloons and shit. Like you had 10 years left, and then you hit 55, and then you leave. You move from the house and you move into the retirement community, and then you're dead within 10 years.
Yeah.
And you could see when they turn 40, all of a sudden their hair turns gray, and then when they're 50, they're in walkers and shit. It's crazy. Now, I'm a little different in the sense that I'm 21 years sober, but when I got sober 21 years ago, my entire addiction turned to fitness. So I'm that guy. When I was 53 years old, I ran a mile in under 6 minutes. I could run a half marathon in an hour and 48 minutes. 8% body fat, and doing 75 hard twice, and I stress fractured my foot, so that kind of knocked me off for a little while. But I still work out, still do everything I've been doing. But so nobody's ever guessed that I'm over 50. And then when I tell them I have grandkids, they're like, "You're too young to have grandkids." And I was like, "Well, actually, my daughter had her first child when I was 50, so she was 25, which my wife and I got married at 20 and 25." So that's kind of, we started young. So people are surprised that we're as old as we are, but it's because of the way we live. Like we don't drink, we don't smoke. We're very clean. We eat very clean. I mean, we don't eat shit. We every now and then eat shit because, you just do. But on a whole, it's like my diet is eggs in the morning. I have some type of chicken and rice for lunch. And then I have healthy snacks, apples and nuts through the day. And then whatever we have at night, but we don't go to fast food. We don't eat fried food, we air fry fish and stuff like that. But I think it's all kind of geared towards how you live too. And what you put in is what you get out. Right. So
And what you take out
right.
matters too. You took out the
Right.
alcohol.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Made a huge
I come across people that are my age and it's like, holy shit, you look like you're 75,
Oh, for sure.
and alcohol,
Especially if
you
they
never
drink every day.
Right, and smoke. Like Sean Penn, prime example. That dude smokes and drinks like nobody's business. We're about the same age, and Sean Penn looks like he's 80 years old. I saw an interview with him after the movie, Every Other Battle, whatever, which is a great movie. But it blew my mind how old he is, and just how old he looks. Just mind-boggling.
Well, the other thing is stress. Look at that famous
Yeah.
picture of Bill Clinton and Sammy Hagar next to each other.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
Like a
haven't
year
seen
apart.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, it's fantastic. They're like a year apart. And Bill Clinton looks like he's about 97 and Sammy looks like he's about 57. And I think they're 70 and 71 in the photos.
Oh, wow. Well, the
Yeah.
presidency will age you.
Well, that's why I
Yes.
bring that up because
Yeah.
stress is even the underlying stress of just the everyday going to work and the grind, and people don't realize that they're stressed subliminally almost. It's just it's there and they don't realize it because I have to be here, I have to be there,
Right.
I have to, and they never stop to take 10 seconds for themselves either.
Well,
I
I was
agree with
No.
everything Chris said. Nutrition is so important and it's so overlooked. And we've had people like yourself who have had their own take on, longevity and how to remain younger longer. But all the things that you brought up are pretty similar to the things that they brought up as well.
I was taking my mom to hyperbaric oxygen therapy after she had a stroke. So it's
Okay.
not that I don't think we should do these advanced therapies because I think they're very helpful when called for, and we got her better in 4 weeks with that
Nice.
therapy. But on the way there, she said, "Sandy, you know, stress can kill you." I was like, "Yeah, I know, Mom." She goes, "No, I mean it. Stress can kill you."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, I get it." She goes, "No, I'm serious. Stress can kill you." And I said, "Yes, Mom, it can cause a heart attack or stroke." And she said, "Oh, I wish I'd known."
Oh,
Huh.
She didn't know. And
Oh,
think-
so she was making the statement like did you know? She was trying to say, did you know?
herself.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
And so when she got better, and I think maybe brain injuries are good for the women in my family. We can go into how I had a brain injury too. But following her recovery,
Yeah.
she stopped hating my dad.
Oh.
So that's lovely.
Oh.
After
absolutely.
X number, I think got married in 1969. So it was a long time to be agitated every day of your life.
Yeah.
And they go grocery shopping together. Like, that's the last thing anybody wants to do with my dad. He looks at every label, every price. How much sugar, how much salt, and what does this cost? He's really annoying. And she's like, whatever. Whatever.
So
Okay.
so what was your mom's brain injury?
She had a stroke in her left
Okay.
lungs.
Okay.
And I had a PEMF device that I was keeping there for a while to help my dad with his osteoporosis.
Okay.
And she felt a little dizzy one day and was like, "Oh, I guess I'll sit on this thing." And so she did a session on it, but her dizziness didn't clear up, and by the next day her speech started to slur. And
Oh.
we think that if she had not sat on that device when it first happened, she might have had, she could have had locked-in syndrome. That's what you can have when you have a stroke in your left pons. It could have been really, really bad. But there was nothing they could do for it either, because she spent 24 hours having a stroke before she realized it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made it to the hospital, and then
Wow.
they did the CT with contrast and all the things that they do. She'd had an MRI a year prior. Her doctor said, "There's nothing anatomically wrong with your brain." We knew there was something off, but
Yeah.
the doctors don't do enough testing to tell us
Hmm.
what's actually wrong with us. And it's not their fault. The insurance companies govern what they're allowed to do.
100%.
Right.
But
Well, then
she,
they're just practicing medicine too. Like people think doctors like they should know everything, but they're practitioners.
yeah.
You're
Same
not.
thing
You're
with
not.
doctors,
right.
lawyers. It's the practice
Right.
of medicine,
Yeah.
the practice
Right.
of law that leaves
Right.
them open to
Yeah.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody knows everything unless you watch The Pit and Noah Wiley's character. He knows it all, every single episode,
He has the script. Right?
every single moment of the day. You know, and he started. Remember when he was an intern in Chicago at I forget that hospital. You know, and now he's like head of Pittsburgh. It's like he moved further to the East Coast and got completely burned out.
It's good to be the same.
Funny. That's
Right.
Yeah.
At least you
so
caught
she
that.
just-
At least you caught that, Sandy. Some people don't. Some people don't catch my random conversations like
Well,
about the
sometimes he
Bundys.
catches you so by surprise. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So she just decided that nothing was worth getting worked up about anymore. Now,
That's cool.
A year later, she's not as good at letting shit go. But
So
You know,
Last year
that's
she was
something
much
you have
better
to
at it.
practice every day
Mm-hmm.
because
yeah,
not only is it the letting things go, but it's the underlying negativity that will also kill you.
yeah,
I had to learn that lesson the hard way because I became negative about everything and I looked around and there was nobody left. You know, I was sitting there by myself thinking, well, shit, I guess I'm the problem, right?
that's awfully insightful.
What,
yeah.
Not
We're
a lot.
I
we're
had no
insightful
other
people.
choice. At that point, Andy, I had no other choice because seriously, there was one person left in my life that I really could count on, and I'm talking to him now. You know, we were starting to put another band
Hi.
together.
Yeah.
It just was the lowest point in my life. I've seen other people at that point, and you just feel for them because you know if you don't change the way you think and realize that every day is a new beginning, you're never going to move forward. So many people live in their past, or worse yet, carry around that negativity. Everything is somebody else's fault. They screwed me. The government screwed me. My family screwed me. Well, what are you going to do about it? You know, I was smart enough to look in the mirror and say, I guess I'm the problem, and I'm going to become a positive person. I'm going to try to be nice to everybody, even if they disrespect me. I'm not going to let them have any power over me. I'm not going to be friends with them, but
Right.
I'm going to be kind as much as I can. I'm following his shirt, right?
Yeah. Well, I was a raging bitch until I got mold in my brain.
Oh shit! I read a little bit about that.
Yeah,
You spent
talk
like
to us
almost
about
100.
that for sure.
Yeah, well, I want to preface it though. She spent almost $100,000 trying to figure out what was wrong,
Yeah.
and then you realized it was mold.
Right. And
So how did?
getting better cost nearly nothing. And
Yeah.
part of what I spent was $27,000 on a hyperbaric oxygen chamber because they prescribed 20,000 in treatment. And I thought, well, I'll spend the extra 7, have it at home, and then other
Yeah.
people can benefit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I owned a
Do you
company
still
of-
have it?
My ex-husband has it.
Wow,
It was
bastard! He
too-
got in a divorce.
It was too big. He'll let me take it back anytime I want,
Okay.
but it's
I
it's
would
like
say
2
I got a
tons.
truck. You know.
The thing is so heavy and
It
so
weighs
big.
4,000 pounds.
I think it might be
Wow.
2,000, but it's a lot.
Wow.
That's still
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, we had to keep it at the warehouse, not actually
Okay.
at home because we couldn't get it into the home. So he has it
Gotcha.
in one of his office spaces. We were running Comic Cons together. And
Oh, gotcha.
That's
Gotcha.
that's a really stressful kind of an event to run. 50,000 people in a weekend.
Comic-Con.
Yeah. So
Okay.
ours was GalaxyCon.
Okay. So
And-
what's GalaxyCon? So I don't know. So what's GalaxyCon?
GalaxyCon is like a Comic Con,
Okay.
but whereas most Comic Cons are
It's dress up and
well, it's the same as that, but they
Okay.
have limited hours and limited content. This
Okay.
is from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Something happening in 10 different rooms at the same time.
Okay.
50,000 people
Cool.
running around. It's a major undertaking.
Right
We
on.
were doing fantasy cosplay wrestling and
Wow.
celebrities on stage and
Wow. Right on.
kids teaching other kids how to create costumes or play games or just everything.
Nice.
It's really a lot of fun. But that's
Right on.
that's his baby, and I helped him with it for a long time. And I really felt like the pooper scooper of the business. Like I felt like the guy that goes behind the horse in the parade
Yeah.
and just kind of just scoops up the poop. And
Gotcha.
I felt like really stressed and responsible for everything that had to take place. And
Okay.
I was a raging bitch. And
Okay.
then COVID hit. We had to convert the whole thing. We had to refund 400 grand in tickets. We had
Oh.
to convert it all virtual. Talk about stress. So I
Yeah.
built an e-commerce system to make it work.
Okay.
And then in the
Nice.
next month, I couldn't run reports on the system I built, and I didn't know what happened. But I
Oh.
suddenly couldn't function. Like
Weird.
everything about thinking was off.
Yeah.
And
Out of
thinking
nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Weird.
And so I
That is
thought,
crazy.
oh, I fried a circuit. I've been working so hard. I just finally blew it. Like my brain
Okay.
is done. Let me take some time off. Took
Sure.
a day off, a couple days off. Took 2 weeks off. Got worse.
You probably should. Oh, really? You
Yeah.
time off got worse?
I got worse
That's
because
strange.
because I wasn't burnt out. I had mold in my brain, but I didn't know
yeah,
what was
okay.
going on. I didn't
do you get-
understand.
Yeah.
I had painted an area that was wet, and I
Okay.
didn't know that it must have been wet for decades. Like
Mm.
it was just a danger zone. But mold exists behind the walls, but it can go through the air and can be
Right.
in there. And someone who's an expert on it explained to me
Yeah.
that it was probably because I was painting in the area
Oh God.
that those paint fumes took it directly into my brain through my optic nerve or my
Wow.
sinuses.
Crazy.
And so I went to a screeching halt. And
Okay.
then I believe I have no basis for knowing, no ability. There's no test that will tell you, but I believe that the inflammation that the mold traveled because it eats, like it feeds off of us whether we are alive or dead. So it doesn't care
Really?
either way. And so it went to the most active part of my brain. So
Wow.
everything I knew to be me got real quiet. And and I couldn't make judgments. I couldn't make decisions. I couldn't
Okay.
decide what goes in that field in that spreadsheet, right? Like it wasn't just that I couldn't decide what car to buy, which was also a thing. I had my brother pick a car for me because I had to trade in a lease and get something new.
Damn.
I couldn't
Yeah.
make the decision on my own. And so I picked somebody who I trusted and let him decide.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I spent 5 months trying to figure out what was wrong with me before I stumbled on Dave Asprey's book, and he described his situation with mold. I got tested for that, and sure enough, I had the mold, and I was able to start to heal.
What was the
So
time
what-
frame
Yeah, go ahead.
between you painting and this first day that you noticed?
2 weeks.
Wow.
Okay.
And
So
so, I
how?
was
So
like
I'm
fatigued.
curious.
But by
I'm
2 weeks,
curious.
I was toast.
I'm curious to know how. So you breathe it in, right? You're breathing in the mold, and then it just decides to find a place to your brain.
So so most people who have a moldy environment, they
Okay.
they gradually get sick.
Right.
It's small doses. They
Yeah.
get it over time. It builds up.
But you disturbed it by painting it, right?
The paint fumes themselves were a carrier.
They picked it up and stuck it right in your nose, and it went right to your brain
Yes.
instantly.
Also, my optic nerve. So I don't know if you know, but your eyeballs are actually part of your brain.
Okay.
Really?
I guess
Yep.
I did not. No.
I did not know that.
Yep, they're directly attached to the brain.
That's why we do this. There's my one thing I learned new today. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they found it on my optic nerve. So that's one of the ways they test for it. Yeah, and so I went to a neurologist. I figured out I was sick mid-October. By mid-November, I was at a neurologist's office, had a brain scan. They performed the brain
Yeah.
scan wrong, and so I was misdiagnosed with a TBI.
Okay.
He had done an intake. I'd hit my head when I was 10. He was like, "Oh, it's come back to haunt you. I see it all the time." I'm like, "No."
And how old were you when this started happening?
I was 45.
Just perspective. Okay, so 35 years later, he's trying to say this came back. Wow.
practicing.
Practitioners.
Yes.
And so I refused to accept that diagnosis. I refused to take the drug he prescribed.
Good job.
And I set out to figure this out on my own. And it
Yeah.
was slow because my brain wasn't processing. I still had my intellect,
Okay.
but my ability to discern was off. So I could read and take notes
Okay.
and review them,
Yeah.
but it didn't flow like we understand
Weird.
information to be absorbed and digested and integrated.
So it kind of got stuck. It got stuck from the eyes to the translation.
Yeah.
It just kind of like I'm
Yeah.
I'm reading it all. I'm seeing it all. I
Yeah,
think I'm
and-
grasping the concept, but then
Not
once it went to process, it's just kind of lays there.
Yep.
That's a trip.
That would be
That
so
is such a
frustrating.
trip. Wow. That
You
would be
described it very
terrible.
well. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's a trip. That's just wow. I can't imagine that. That would be frustrating on its own.
And so
It had
I
to be,
thought,
right?
I just need to optimize my brain. Oh, it was
Okay.
extremely frustrating.
It's like when you're sitting
Yeah.
there waiting for a file to upload on your computer and it just never ends.
I called it buffering.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
right on.
Yeah.
That's what he
buffering.
just
Okay.
described. It's
Yeah.
there's no
Okay.
processing. It never ends.
Right. Right.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
That would be horribly
Wow.
frustrating.
Yes. I went on a wild goose chase to figure out what was wrong with me. And
The fact you didn't go crazy is a testament to your willpower.
thank you.
It really
Yeah.
is.
I was
Yeah, 'cause
really, really dedicated to two ideas. One, it wasn't me, because my first symptom was depression.
Okay.
I felt depressed.
Anybody
I
would.
can see that.
The brain
can see
wants
that.
to close the loop. It
Right.
doesn't like uncertainty. So I had a sensation in my emotional and physical body that said,
Okay.
and my brain said, "Oh, we've been here before. That's depression." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." And so I had to argue with my brain quite a bit.
Okay.
And then I really just wouldn't accept that at 45 that was the end of me.
Yeah, that's good.
It came on
So you're
so
stubborn.
suddenly. I am sometimes.
That's
Yeah.
good though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I think we all have that in common.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm no longer a raging bitch. I might be an
Okay.
occasional pain in the ass, but
Yeah.
no longer a raging bitch.
How long did it take for is the mold gone? Does it just, what you did made it just disappear?
It started to go down. I had 2 tests and it was lessened the second time I took a test. But I'm
Okay.
going based on how I feel. And
Okay.
I'm almost just afraid to know. Like, if I still have mold, but feel fine and I'm doing
Yeah.
all the right things, then maybe there's a
You don't want it to trigger
psychosomatic
you.
thing that makes
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Yep,
I-
I get that.
You don't want the
It could be a trigger.
psychological
Right,
part.
no.
Right.
Yeah,
Creeping back
because it
in.
could trigger you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
could trigger you thinking, oh gosh, here I go again. And then you're automatically, your mind's going to shift that way because why wouldn't it? It's human nature, right? Like, oh shit,
Right.
now I got to do this again. Here we go again.
Right.
That's crazy.
Have you guys ever had any mysterious illnesses?
I don't know.
No, the more I talk to people like yourself who have, I know you didn't have TBI, but I've taken some pretty serious shots to the head that I never really gave any credence to until I started learning how serious even one of those is, you know? And then I think back to some of the impulsiveness in my life and things that I can't explain. All those things make sense now that I understand that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't beat myself up so bad for some of the what I considered stupid decisions at the time, you know, or why did you do that? That really made my life take a turn, a hard left turn or a hard right turn that I didn't anticipate. Just because I made one decision or another, I give myself credit for that, those moments now, you know, and you don't beat yourself up and be so negative about not being smart, or that has nothing to do with it. You know, you think differently than other people. But I think I think that same curse was also a gift in that I've never been able to explain how I can play an instrument or how I understand sound and how something should sound good. And I'd look at somebody else who thinks that something sounds good, and I wonder, how do you not know that that sounds bad? Right? So I think that there was a gift that kind of came along with that curse as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be. Because
Interesting.
it would be really interesting to see inside of your brain and see the balance between the default mode network and the frontal lobe.
I
Because that
should
default mode network is where that creativity happens.
I should definitely go, you know, again to a neurologist. I went after I was in a bad car accident, and I was more concerned about what happened in the accident than,
Sure.
you know, I wasn't thinking about anything we're talking about. No, I've learned that probably in the last 5 to 6 years, you know, just through listening to podcasts myself with doctors who understand this. And
I really love Dr. Daniel Amen and what he does with SPECT scans. It's really fascinating to see personality show in which regions of the brain are quiet or active. Really fascinates me.
yeah, I'm with you. I would definitely like to see what that looks like in my case.
Yeah, so I pulled up one of your pages, Sandy, the 15 biological systems.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I want you to kind of elaborate on these things without spending, you know, too much time on each one, because obviously there's 15 of them. But I think what you're sharing with us is fascinating, number one. And so as I scrolled to this, I stopped because this just is fascinating to me. So what you're doing is kind of addressing all these 15 biological systems to have better longevity and healthier life.
What I hope to do by outlining the systems, which I
Okay.
pulled together using AI, like I
Okay.
don't have the education or experience to be able to explain to you how the detoxification system of the body works.
Okay.
I know a little bit about the nervous system, a little bit about breath and circulation, but
Mm-hmm.
not to the degree to which we can dive in on the website.
Okay. Okay.
But my goal with identifying the systems was to identify how they interrelate
Oh.
and what kinds of activities can enhance multiple systems.
Okay.
And so, if you reduce sugar in your diet, how many systems is affected? If you increase
Oh,
your
okay.
hydration, how far does that go?
Okay.
Considering that it's your emotional system and your stress response are two different things, and,
Yeah.
and how our hormones coordinate the functioning of our cells is not something I'm equipped to describe, but
Okay.
what I am interested in is getting people to understand that optimizing any of these, and you
Right.
can go through and look at the EDGE framework in each one,
Yeah.
is that everything starts with what we stop, and then we can decode what's happening in our bodies.
Yeah.
And only then do I believe we should start adding.
Okay.
I really love the idea of hyperbaric therapy for a traumatic brain injury. I think it's wonderful. But
Okay.
when I was misdiagnosed with a TBI and I put HBOT on my brain, it gave me
Mm-hmm.
headaches because mold fights back.
Oh, that's fun.
It gave me headaches.
Yay,
Right.
mold.
So waste of money
Gift that keeps
there.
on giving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't, it helped after I got the mold out,
Right.
but not before.
Okay.
And so I also have, there's a link at the top for Decoder, and I built an AI chat based on these systems and
Okay.
this information, so that
Yeah.
if you type in something, I don't know, you might want to do this. If you
Okay.
click on Decoder,
Well, let's do it while we're live, boys and girls.
yeah, and
Did that
click,
share? Did that share?
click on
Yes.
I
Get
want to make sure.
Clarity.
I want to make sure it's shared because okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I click something, it won't share it.
We'll let you know because we
So
won't be able to
okay,
see it.
so you want me to click on Get Clarity?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I
So
think
just
that,
type in something. Oh, right
yeah,
here. What are you experiencing?
type in anything you're feeling, and
I'm gonna do this for someone I know who's over the age of 50, and it has to do with the menopause thing.
okay.
Why you gotta
So-
give away all my secrets?
Let's give. let's give.
That was personal, dude.
I'm sorry. So hip pain and menopause together, there's likely a lot going on. Where exactly does the pain sit deep in the joint along the outer hip or more lower back area? I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna say deep. Whoops. This is fascinating, Sandy.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is designed to give you, so after 3 responses, it'll give you a summary. So I want you to get
deep
one
joint.
more
So deep
answer.
joint pain that connects into the lower back is noted. How long has it been present, and did it come on gradually, or did something specific seem to trigger it? Came on gradually with
That was
age.
my choice as well. Good choice.
Yep. Okay,
And
so those
it's
of you,
going to
yeah,
start summary and
Okay.
identifying the systems of the body that are related now that you've
Okay.
given it 3 responses, and it will continue
Yeah.
to ask you questions.
okay,
What this presumes is that your body is accurately sending intelligence reports about what's happening,
oh, okay,
and that pain is an appropriate signal, not a problem. If you're having hip pain, your body's telling you to pay attention to what we don't generally know.
right, right,
And interesting that you bring up menopause. I have a very contrarian view about menopause.
okay,
I believe it's not a disease, it's not a disorder, but we're treated as if it is because our health system can't give a drug unless it diagnoses a problem.
right,
And so in order to sell us hormones, they have to label us as problemed in order to give us the hormones to make it better. I'm not anti-hormone therapy,
right.
but I do believe it's like taking an Advil for pain. I think it's just symptom treatment. But
So even if the hormones, taking the hormones actually have had a benefit in this person.
yeah, so does
Okay.
Advil. Takes away pain,
Oh, good point.
right?
Good point.
So we'll reduce the fever. Well, but what are we addressing and what's going on?
Gotcha.
Women seem to me to be designed by nature to have these hormones fall off.
Okay.
And over a certain age, once we're postmenopausal, they don't encourage us to keep taking the hormones. We can, some do,
Right.
but it's this painful mid period that's being diagnosed and treated. And I think that a lot of that pain and suffering is coming from high inflammation. And I think that the estrogen levels that we've had so that we could, I don't know, maybe birth babies through a famine, maybe that protective layer makes us less likely to feel pain.
Okay.
And then when those hormones fall away, all of the damage we've done to ourselves through stress and diet and drinking and whatever else we do, maybe we suddenly just feel the damage we've been doing all along.
Right.
And so I would encourage anyone my age, younger, to say, okay, I'm having a hot flash. What did I eat today? Did I get stressed out? What's going on? Is there
Food journal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then is there something I can do to minimize the symptoms beyond just going straight to hormones?
Huh. Interesting.
So
And that's
I-
typical, and that's basically what you did with your situation, right? Because you had all the doctor, and then you decided, you know what, stop. Instead of doing that, let's find a natural way to resolve this issue without pumping myself full of the drugs and the chemicals that we all know the pharmaceutical companies, $1 trillion industry a year, because America is, let's make sure you're unhealthy so we can generate all this income, whereas opposed to all the other countries in the,
Well,
around
one
the
thing
world,
that
it's the opposite.
One thing that she just said that we hear all the time is inflammation. And what is
Yeah.
most inflammation caused by? Your diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what's in the
Interesting.
water and what's in the air. And, you know, it's not
Right.
just the diet, but I mean, we do
Right.
eat every day.
Yes, we do eat. We do eat food
most
every
of
day. We
us.
have to. We have to.
So I made
interesting.
reference earlier to mold not caring if you are alive or dead.
Okay.
When I finally figured out it was mold, and my first doctor who diagnosed it, she put me on a drug called nystatin, and I took it because by that point I was 5 months in. I was desperate. I was
Right.
going to do whatever anybody said to feel better. And 4 days in, I just kept imagining myself drowning myself in my tub, and I did not have a history of suicidal thoughts. And the 5th day, I went to my cabinet and I took the pill bottle out and I went,
Okay.
oh, you're new. But that day before, it was so bad. I'd had a fight with my ex-husband. I couldn't get anyone to help me. I had to call his mother to get any help at all. Like after 12 hours of really like out of my mind, why am I
Okay.
thinking these thoughts
Yeah.
in my day? And when I recognized the drug as what was new in my environment,
Yeah.
I didn't take it. I called my doctor and I said, hey, I can't take this. And she said, I told you you'd need mental health help to get through this process. And I said, that's not how this works. You
No.
don't give me a drug that gives me suicidal ideation and then I just go talk to somebody about it so I feel better. That's not how we
Yeah.
do this. And
No,
that
see,
was
that's-
my
yeah.
real turning point.
Yeah.
That was when I had to take matters into my own hands because I couldn't
Yeah.
trust the doctors at all anymore. And I did go to another doctor
That's a
who
valid
charged
point.
$13,000 up front, and because I was desperate,
Right.
desperate. But he had the protocol I had researched, and he was going to be the one who could help me. And his best advice was to not acknowledge my symptoms, which was great advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It changed my life.
Yeah.
But he also didn't do anything for me. And so when all he had
So give me
was-
13 grand and I'm going to tell you, ignore your symptoms. Have a nice day, Sandy. Is that check or cash? Because I'll take either.
I need that job.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd be good at that.
He gave me a genetic
Wow.
test that he couldn't interpret.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that
Wow.
I could probably do that.
it's
Dr.
really out
Chris.
of desperation that I've come up with, I had to really
Jeez.
parse all the things.
Yeah.
How did I get better?
Okay.
How did I get sick? How did I get better? Which
Yeah.
things worked? Which things were a waste of money? And
Holy
now I like
smokes.
to share the story because the biggest aggravation people have with the longevity space is that they say
Mm-hmm.
it's for tech billionaires. Well, I'm not that.
Right.
And
And it shouldn't be.
yeah,
It
I was an
shouldn't be for
entrepreneur
billionaires.
and
Right.
I had some money to spend on
Right.
my brain, but that money didn't even work.
Yeah.
It didn't
And
get me where
yeah.
I am.
And it shouldn't matter what your financial what's the word? What your financial availability is to get the
Position.
help you need
Yeah,
to live a better, healthier life.
right.
It's just, I mean, I know that's, what is that, socialism, medical, like Canada, eh? But I just, that's mind boggling.
Well, there's
$13,000 for nothing. Jeez.
A bunch of tests he didn't know how to interpret.
Jeez. Let's smear him. Let's do a smear campaign.
That is terrible. It really is.
It's ridiculous.
And you said it earlier, Sandy. We're not discounting modern medicine because modern medicine has its place. And if you're dying and you need a blood transfusion, you should go get a blood transfusion so
Yeah.
you don't die. If you need
Yeah.
whatever to stay alive, my dad's on medicine that keeps his heart in rhythm, right? There's no reason he shouldn't take that because he's a naturalist. There's
Right.
a version of lunacy on both ends, right? But I think it's important for people to understand, like you said, if you're going to your doctor and you are not getting any better, there's no reason to continue to go to that doctor, right? You should go either get a second opinion or start doing you have the internet at your disposal. You have most of the answers you need. You just have to ask the right questions.
Right. But at the same time, is self-diagnosing always the best approach?
No, that's why I said I think.
Yeah.
And she did it. She went and got
Yeah.
a second, a third, a fourth,
Yeah.
a fifth opinion. But
Right.
your situation was so unique, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people who end up in these unique situations where
Yeah.
you're being attacked by something that is not normal on a day-to-day basis for most people.
Well,
Agreed.
let's talk about what I would have been diagnosed with if I hadn't kept fighting.
Yeah.
Chronic fatigue syndrome,
Right.
an autoimmune condition,
Right.
something because what it causes is an inflammatory response. They call it chronic inflammatory response syndrome.
Yeah.
Well, that's in 2017, I went to my primary and I got a
Right.
basic blood panel done. And I said, can we do C-reactive protein? I want to check my inflammation levels. And he said, no, I don't test for that. I was like, why not? And he goes, well, we can't do anything about inflammation, so I don't test for it. But we can do something about inflammation. I'm proof
Yeah.
positive we can. And that's what so much of the industry is missing. They're missing the tools and the wherewithal and the motivation to reduce inflammation. We don't even have a really great way to measure it. C-reactive protein, what isn't the best measurement for it. There are other tests that are more specialized that you frankly just can't get from your regular doctor. The interleukin 6, interleukin 9, like you can't get these from your doctor. The insurance companies won't let them order those tests for you. They don't want you to know.
No, of course not. It's kind
And
of like you have the ability to make what's the big rage is diabetes, to make diabetes medicine, very
GLP-1s.
inexpensive. Right,
Yeah.
and they don't. It's like, let's overcharge arm and leg, but you can get Viagra for $5 for a month's supply. So let's make sure you can have sex.
How do you
but
know
At the
that?
same, because it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
They have a
It pops
commercial
up
every
on.
2
Disgusting
seconds
shots.
on TV.
I know, no, but it pops up on everything. It's anything you
get
have
that.
like. The fun thing about this show, right? Because my phone's in front of me. Mike's phone is in front of him. And we all know that the phones listen to everything. Because as soon as we get done with one of these recordings, all of a sudden I get these different algorithms. My algorithms online are so out of whack.
This podcast has definitely
right,
screwed up.
right.
You're going to get a bunch of menopause ads next.
Oh, I don't doubt that. We had this couple
It's
on.
funny he brings that. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you. It's funny.
You're
he brings
good, you're
that up
good.
Because I was just thinking about that 2 or 3 days ago as I'm sitting at break at work and scrolling through my Facebook. I'm like, what are all these weird? Oh, these are all podcast people. They were all ads for people who had been on
Yeah.
here. The Kava
Yeah.
guy and
Yep. Yeah, I get coffee emails now. We had this couple on that they're in the active adult, not the active adult, the swinger lifestyle called the impulsive dual. So all of a sudden I started getting things for that.
Yep. Them too.
We've had musicians on, and I started getting things for music and recording. We have producers on, directors on, actors on, talent agents on. It's this broad spectrum of stuff because we started this thing originally just based on recovery because I'm 21 years sober. Mike's about 15, 18 years clean. So the foundation was that and music. And then we had this stupid little innuendo bit. We were talking for no reason. We had a guest that bailed on us, and it was like, I just want a living, breathing human being. And I was like, maybe we have a zombie. And Mike's like, you can't have a zombie. I don't think that would work, right? So that little less than 60-second clip blew up, and then all of a sudden people started knocking down our door to be guests. And what we call it is life resume. So you have this amazing life resume, which is somehow you prompted to reach out to Mike for you saw something, so based on what I read, I'm like, we need to get Sandy on, even though I had that little mix up a couple weeks ago. Are you Sean or are you Sandy? Because it was weird. Because I know a guy named Sandy, so that's why it wasn't off-putting to me. I thought maybe it's the same person.
And right away we had the same last name and two guests back to. You
Right.
guys were so close together in booking.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh, funny.
It was weird. It was weird. So, but that's the fun thing about this show. It doesn't matter who you are. And like comedian, we have comedians on, then all of a sudden I'll have a bunch of comedian shows come up my feed. So when we finish this thing, and it's going to be all about biometrics and different things, health, and because that's what it does, which is neat. So, it's interesting to see what the phone picks up, days after the show.
And then all the things that we've learned.
Oh,
Today we
my
learned
God.
that the optic nerve is part of the brain.
It is.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And the fact that you have that really cool BioEdge decoder, I'm going to share that with a couple people because I think it's fascinating.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I'm pretty damn healthy. My biggest thing is asthma. I've had asthma since I was 3 months old, but I was a product of the environment in Illinois where it's like I had to move where I was going to be dead in 3 months. So we decided Arizona because it's hot. They're tired of the cold. Now, listening to you though, obviously I couldn't make a conscious decision when I was 3 months old, but is asthma really a product of who I am, or is it a product of the environment? Because Illinois, all that mold, right? Cold, very
Arizona
conducive
has
to mold
its
growth.
own kind of mold too,
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
and so
And
it could
tons
be.
of pollen.
Uh-huh. Oh, pollen's crazy right now. Arizona's one of the worst states for asthmatics to move to nowadays. There was a point in time where I was allergic to everything in Arizona except horses, dogs, and guinea pigs.
And there was
Wow.
a time in the past where they sent people there who had tuberculosis because it was the perfect arid
Right.
environment, right?
Right.
But what happened is, for lack of a better term, all
Yeah.
the assholes moved from the east and west of Arizona and brought their plants from
Yep.
those states, and they screwed up
Yep.
that desert environment, and now
Yep.
they have what he's describing.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did. Like one of my grandsons is allergic to palo verdes, orange trees, and any type of wood because his dad worked in wood. Like he put in
Yeah.
wood floors and stuff. So he'd come home from work and he'd pick up Trip, and Trip would break out in hives. I'm like, what's going on? And then they finally get that whole back allergy test for Trip and realize, oh, you're allergic to all these things that your dad does for a living. So he had to completely change his line of work, and we had to cut down, which I was happy to do. So I hated him. Five palo verde trees. And an orange tree, just because those alone were making him chaos, just making his nose constantly run, eyes water. It was terrible. And he's, at the time he was a year and a half old. So he couldn't vocalize anything. He couldn't explain anything. You just constantly running from allergies.
I'm really curious. You said you still have asthma?
I do. It's more, like I have an inhaler. I don't remember last time I took it because it's a PRN. It's a PRN thing. I got to the point when, because I've worked out so much because of my running, things like that, I like when I ran my back-to-backs under 6 minute miles, I didn't take my inhaler. I got in such really good physical condition, cardio condition wise, before I broke my foot. And I was basically not able to do any cardio for 8 months. So I just did upper body core. Even that still helps the heart cardiovascular because you're still straining and that type of thing. But when the pollen's out, like this time of year, I notice it's even though I'm in shape, I notice there's okay, if I don't catch my breath when I first start running, I can't catch my breath. As long as I start with a good breathing pattern, then I'm cool. But if I'm in the midst of something, one of those days where and there's days like that, I just can't catch my breath. No matter what I do, I just can't catch my breath when I'm running. So then I got to slow down, walk it out, and start over again.
So what I think is really fascinating about all of that is that you
Yeah.
have demonstrated the ability to shift your biology
Oh.
from something that people thought you were born with.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
And so
Cool.
it might
Power
be
of the mind.
difficult.
it.
Well, it could be the absence of the alcohol. There might
Well, I
be
wasn't drinking when
some
I was
sort of
3.
That's true. But what's in alcohol could be in, for the wheat, the barley, the whatever,
Mm-hmm.
could have been in your diet in some way. Could have been things about it.
Interesting.
Food sensitivity, a lack of physical vigor,
Yeah.
because you weren't
Yeah.
running marathons at 3, nor should
No.
you.
No.
But there are factors that
Hmm.
we can shift over time, and our bodies completely change over every 7 years.
Sure, right.
And
It's like
so-
a snake shedding their skin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and our gut lining repairs itself every 3 days. And so it's
Really? I didn't know that.
It's all on a different timetable,
Wow.
but we're constantly remaking ourselves.
That's
And
cool.
that's the piece that I think is brilliant. If you think about
Yeah.
the world we live in with AI and how it's going to change everything,
Mm-hmm.
also know its limitations. It's limited to language right now.
Yeah.
Every smart thing it knows
Yeah.
is only based on what we've been able to put into words.
True. And exactly. What you feed, because a year ago, the level of AI was nowhere compared to what it is today.
But
We
our
had a
bodies,
guy on, yeah.
our bodies
Go ahead.
are working in ways that no one has been able to describe.
Yeah.
The capacity inside of us is beyond anything ever
Agreed.
spoken or written or what have you. So
Yeah.
our bodies are still the smartest things on the planet. Smarter
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
than us, smarter than the AI, smarter than anything. And
The body itself is just an amazing thing to begin with, and people don't look at it that way. They just
the
don't
brain
look. That's why
alone. We don't
Right,
understand
that's-
the brain.
No,
Starting
that's
there,
why.
let
Yeah,
alone
that's
the
why it
rest of
drives.
the body.
Yeah, that's why it drives. And I'm not slamming people, but that's why it drives you nuts when you see somebody who's so just overtly obese and just so unhealthy and out of shape. Like, you have one body, you have one soul, you have one life. You're choosing to live like that. I can't wrap my head around that. When you have the ability of self-control and to be, you don't have to be crazy fitness, but you have the ability to exercise and take care of yourself, and you know what you're eating is good or bad. You know,
Let me
They
give
don't
you another
know they have
perspective
the
on that.
ability.
my ex-husband was
Oh, I
400
guess that's a good
pounds.
point. Say that again.
My ex-husband was 400 pounds.
Ouch.
We
How-
ate the same things. We worked the same job. We had
Really?
the same lifestyle.
How tall was he?
5'11". And
Okay.
he was a big guy.
Yeah.
And so what I know is that in the
Mm-hmm.
same living environment,
Okay.
he tested as having more mold in his body
Oh,
than I did, but it didn't affect his brain
weird.
because his fat kept
Oh,
it
God.
from
Really?
harming him.
Wow.
Wow.
And so think about every obese person that you see and those fat cells being intelligent and
Oh.
those fat cells being there for a reason. They are a protective layer. They pull toxins out and store them away
Wow.
so that you can function. And then it can just get like,
Out of control.
yeah, thank you.
Wow. Wow.
And so if somebody is in a situation where their body is saying, no, 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 I've got you, let
Yeah.
me put this insulating layer so you can keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a tipping point, right, where it becomes
Yeah.
difficult to get back on track.
Yeah.
But if we're not interpreting the signal correctly
Yeah.
in the beginning, when the fat starts to come on, we just get a little dad bod, or we just get a little junk in the trunk, or we get whatever, whatever
Right.
stereotype we want to discuss here.
Yeah.
Then we're not recognizing that the body's doing that to help us,
True.
because
That's interesting.
the sugar that we ate, it doesn't have the ability to process fully. So I'll just store that as fat
Okay.
because I don't have the ability. I've been overloaded. As my body's like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Okay, I'll store it. And if we don't catch
Interesting.
that signal early on, then we
Right.
can become obese and extremely unhealthy. But it's those early signs. That's kind of the whole point of my work. It's those early
Yeah.
signs
Okay.
where we can shift and make a change. Otherwise,
interesting.
it's really
Yeah.
hard to reverse a body that's just so overprotective that it's obese to that level.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, and you
So,
just
boys-
described
Yeah,
two
go ahead, Mike.
things. The same diet doesn't apply to everybody, right?
Right.
You just said it. So people telling you that this diet or that diet works, that's all shit advice. You have to figure out what works for you because everybody's different. And you just said it. The other thing is some people just get a shit roll of the dice. They just do. You know, you're genetically challenged from the get-go. So you're either going to have to work harder or like you just said, you're going to succumb to obesity. You're going to succumb to whatever it is, whatever oddity it is that people are going to look at you and say, why is that person different? Part of it's just your genetics too.
But it's no more than half genetics.
Agreed.
They used to think it was 7%. They came out last
Yeah.
week and said, no, we actually have new markers now. We believe it's 50%, 50-50. Your genetics can affect your overall outcome, but it's not deterministic outside of a couple of things.
No, and it can't be because too many people overcome those obstacles and prove that theory wrong that it could be over 50%, because if it was, if you were subject to obesity, there would be nothing you could do to not be obese.
Yeah,
And
I come
there's-
from obese people, but I was bound and determined not to be. And so I'm not.
There you go. Mindset. This has been fast. Oh, it's not sharing. I thought I was sharing. So this has been fascinating. We have been talking with Sandy Martin, who's all about hacking your biochemistry, what you want to call it. She has a BioEdge Longevity Summit coming in July 10th and 11th in New York City at the Metropolitan Pavilion. Our website is bioedgelongevity.com. Go there, check it out. You can click learn more. I'm assuming that's where you click more to get information about the event, tickets to go, etc. Very, very fascinating for sure. I wasn't expecting this based on what you shared, which is why we love doing what we do, because the conversation takes us where we go, and I've learned a ton. I know Mike's learned a ton. You've got a great handle on all this stuff, and I'm going to share your website like crazy to people that I think would would really, really, truly benefit from it. Just the biodecoding thing was fantastic. So everybody go to bioedgelongevity.com. Take a look at Sandy Martin's stuff. Go to her event. You can buy her book. It's on Amazon. I saw that a minute ago.
Did you notice
think
that
I'm
that's
gonna-
what Shatner at the top of the page? That picture.
Where is it?
In the video right there. You see it?
Oh,
That's Bill.
oh yeah.
He
Oh,
was-
okay.
He
Oh,
was at my first event.
Oh, that's
that's
awesome.
Shatner.
Yeah.
That's okay. I kind of thought that, but I was like, I wasn't going to jump to conclusion, but right on, Bill Shatner. Okay, boys and girls, Bill Shatner, okay, believes in BioEdge longevity. So
That's
that
all you need to
alone,
know.
There you go.
that alone,
That is all you need to know.
Captain Kirk, okay? Captain
Captain
Kirk
Kirk
believes
approved.
in Sandy Martin. That's amazing. She's Sandy Martin. Go check her out, bioedgelongevity.com. We wrap every show up like this. If you're feeling suicidal or depressed, don't do it. Tomorrow is a better day with you in it. Don't leave a hole in somebody else's heart because you decided to leave this planet. Go run, go jog, go journal, go scream in a pillow, go find somebody to talk to. If you cannot find somebody to talk to, we urge you to text 988. Somebody is there right now willing to talk to you and just figure out how to make that you get off that ledge and have a better day, because it is. The world's a better day with you in it, and we want you there tomorrow, because Mike and I both been affected by it. I seriously doubt anybody who's ever watched our show has not had somebody they know that has taken their life. So don't do it. Don't do that. Again, Sandy Martin, bioedgelongevity.com. Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap this up?
I just want to say thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of
Thank you
fun.
so much, Sandy.
You are awesome. You are awesome. We have to have you come back on again, because I'm sure we could talk another 5 hours on this subject, because there's so many different things that we could totally dive down that path.
Yeah.
But for sake of not losing people's interest, let's bookshelf this one, and then we'll get you back on again in June. We'll talk some more about the other things you're doing, and we can plug your summit again and make sure we get that place filled up with people, you know. And then you got a selfie with Bill? Did Bill and you take a picture?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right
yeah.
on. So
There's
you
a
gotta share
video
that.
on my YouTube
Okay.
page of
Okay.
Bill in a PEMF chair and
Okay.
how he felt, and it's hysterical. It's perfect.
Awesome.
You gotta
What's the
That is so
YouTube
cool.
page? What's the
It's
YouTube
at
page?
BioEdge Longevity.
At BioEdge Longevity is at YouTube. So we're going to subscribe. Check that out. We'll drop it on our page as well. Truly appreciate you being on the show because time is the most valuable commodity we all have. So we appreciate you taking time to come and join us today and talk. And glad we figured out the time thing because, you know, everybody gets confused because I don't change my clocks. So when people ask me what time it is, I'm like, I don't know. Mike was trying to explain to me. I'm like, dude, you're going over my head. So I'm Arizona. This is what time it is. So that's why I type. It's 8:18 as I type this email. What time is it there? Because I don't know. I don't
lived
know.
out
I've
there
been in
for
Arizona.
almost 18 years, and
Yeah.
as I'm explaining this to him, and I'm seeing the deer in the headlights look, I just started getting quieter and quieter. I was like, oh yeah, I remember what that was like.
Yeah. We don't change our clocks. We just don't. And really, daylight saving time was created for farmers.
It was not. That's a myth. Google it.
Okay. Well, I sounded good
Is
though.
it really?
I thought it
is.
was.
It was
Yeah.
mostly due to the railroads before GPS, so that you
Oh.
weren't starting trains at the same time and they didn't crash into each other.
Oh.
There's several reasons for it, but that
Right.
was the big one. Was it had a lot.
It doesn't
to do
need
with the
to. Yeah.
railroads.
But it doesn't need to be there anymore. Just make it
No,
all at the
it
same
doesn't.
time.
Let's
Just
blame
make it all at the same
Rockefeller
time.
for something else.
So now where are you? What state are you in, Sandy?
I'm in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay. That explains it. So you're 3 hours ahead.
I am.
Okay. See, that explains it.
See, you
now that
just
I know
figured
that.
it out that quick.
Well, because you told me before the show,
I
man.
know, and you remember, you retained. I'm proud of this guy.
It's because I don't have mold in my brain yet. Who knows? Could be. That wasn't a slight at you, Sandy. I was just,
No,
I processed it. I processed
We
it.
know she has a sense of humor after talking
Yeah.
to her for an hour.
Yeah, she does. Thank you so much again. We appreciate you. Love you, brother.
Love you too.